Muted. Oh, hello there. Mike was muted. That always happens, right? Okay, we're joining you from outside of the Oregon Rail Heritage Center. Just kidding. Just kidding. Got my green screen up. Got the which way? There's that 1616. Oop, 16. Which way? Which way? There. There it is. It's right there. 1616. Abraham Lincoln took this last weekend. Hey, Dwight. Dwight is in the house. So, wow, we got 11 people starting off here. Let's see who we got in the chat. Started out with Hot Dog Pilot Andy. And we got JP from Beaumont Hill Subdivision. Kevin Brown, welcome. Oh, me? Okay. JJ. Yeah. Well, you're watching Great Northern, JJ. Rocky off the rails right now. And another hour of time that you could better spend somewhere else. Okay. Just kidding. We're going to go over some things today. Let's go back to, where was I? Kevin Brown. Schuylkill River Valley. John 2, welcome. Dan Tyson from Ohio, welcome. And let's see, who else made it in here? Oh yeah, Dwight, Curly Express in the windstorm and the dust storm down there. What does you introed me with a pause and a gulp? I hope I'm not that harsh. Yes, it's a secret message to you. Closet Branch, and Brad down in New Zealand. 4 o'clock in the morning. Poor Brad. Willow Creek. Okay. Wow, we got quite a crew here today. So we're gonna go over a number of things. Pete Motley. Pete, welcome to the show. Nice seeing you last weekend with your friend Jerome. And I forget the young guy's name who gave us that great train ride for free, as well as some humor. Yeah, so last weekend, right after the show, I rushed down to the Oregon Rail Heritage Center, which is about 15 minutes from my house. And behind me was one of the photos that I took. I think we go here. Here was another one. Empire Builder. Plum something. I can't read that. But that's a nice Empire Builder car from Great Northern. Passenger car. Yeah. Uh, Gabe and Emerson. Gabe and Emerson. So that was a lot of fun. Last weekend, I hung out with Pete for quite a while. Um, Pete, did you ever get your flag? It's an inside joke. We bought some overpriced and not needed calendars from UP. Union Pacific was there with their um, 1616. So Oregon got to be the first city to actually premiere the tour of the 1616 Abraham Lincoln commemorating that. Yeah, ain't it such? But we saw some ones that were decorated by the spray paint. And I'm not talking about the shop spray paint, you know what I mean? They're sitting out there too. But there's this organ. If you're ever in Portland, do go down and check this out. Of course, the 1616 won't be there, but we also saw something that you will probably rarely see anywhere else. There were three steam locomotives under steam during last Saturday. So that includes the 4449, which has its home at the Oregon Rail Heritage Center, the SP&S, the Spokane, Portland, and Seattle 700, which is also a Northern Class 484. First time it was under steam in 15 years. And we'll go over that in a second. I've got some links to that. Hey, Closet Branch, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Let me get this banner off here. Go back to the comments. Yeah, Dats and Closet Branch are the same, one and the same. If you see somebody running around with no pants on in his underwear, it's probably Dats, according to Dwight. All right. We always give people ribbing around here. Oh, and also, of course, because last Sunday was Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day to my mom who's watching the show. Hi, Mom. And also all the mothers out there that are with us still and those that are not. So, yep. I have to tell you about Pete's comment here. 1616 looks nice. We should have fun sharing photos of it in our areas. I think that would be great. I think we should, if it comes to your area, go see it. Um, Thanks to a few of the volunteers at, in fact, the whole place is basically volunteer effort at the Oregon Rail Heritage Center. They take care of the steam doing that. Um, Thanks to at least one of the, if not more, the volunteers, they cleaned that 1616 up nice. In fact, I think it was Gabe or Emerson. I don't know which one. He actually washed the front of the 1616 because it was covered with bugs. Yeah. Okay. So, what else we have here? Well, let's go over to desktop land. And I'm going to talk about a few of the things that have happened um, recently, just around here. So, my friend, another friend, Andy, down over on the other side of the planet, in part of England. I think he lives close to around Nottingham. He just celebrated his 100th episode. So go and watch that. In fact, next time he has a call for videos, make sure your videos get included in his show. He put together what was almost impossible for him to upload, a 26 or 25-minute video that composed all these other people's videos. So he asked a lot of people to contribute videos on the um, Roy Smith's channel, on a few other channels out there, and he got about maybe, I don't know, 10 people. Um, so go watch that 100th episode. Give him a thumbs up. Yeah, he's only got 16. And if you're not a subscriber, go and subscribe to Andy's channel. So let me see if I can go and follow this thing and give you guys a link here. Okay, so there you go. There's Andy's channel. I'll go back so you don't see the infinite uh, the infinite thing. So there's this channel, Andy Montrose and Highland Railroad. He's done 100 videos. He's just a regular guy like the rest of us, but not but he puts together a great little show, and he'll be coming out with 101 soon. So do go and watch Andy. A lot of, like I said, he gets around to a number of train shows in the UK, and great show. Of course, I know it goes without saying that we should also go and see the other Andy in the house. Go watch Andy's channel. Hot Dog Andy Pilot also has a great show, but it usually starts at 5 a.m. for me. I'm usually not there, but Dwight is. So let's go to the next thing. So, where's the Oregon Rail Heritage Center? And what was I talking about? The 700. So, this is the 700 right here. First time I ever heard this locomotive, I was in my house about 3 miles from the rail track, and I heard this whistle, and I said, "What? Why? There's a steam there's a steam train running on the track somewhere?" And I actually got up on top of my house and looked down, because I was up in the hills above the valley, and I could see that puff, 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 puff. And so I got in my car and I rushed down and I took pictures and maybe even took videos, but I don't have those anymore. That was a long time ago. So I forget when the last time it went through the valley. This would have been, oh, easily 20, 25 years ago. So this locomotive here has not been under steam for 15 years. Last Saturday was the first time it's been under steam. And you can see, reading the story, if you can read this, $500,000 and thousands of hours of labor to restore this back to running condition. Okay, they said actually the first time in over 10 years. Somebody else told me 15. But great stuff here. Let me bounce over to and put you into infinite scroll land again. There's that link. I'm a member of this fine organization and have contributed to actually the building of this building. There's a little bit of history here. The building that you see, so the SPNS is sitting on a turntable, which is operational, and they need it to actually operate their center there. It's quite interesting thing. So they pulled this turntable out from what's called the Brooklyn Yard. I think that is the BNN, Burlington Northern Southern Santa Fe, blah, blah, blah. Burlington Northern Santa Fe, BNSF yard. I believe it's that one. Maybe it's the UP. Don't quote me. I'm probably wrong. Anyways, they were asked to vacate the premises where the 4444, 4449, the 700, and the Oregon Rail Navigation 197 were all located in the roundhouse there. So I think it was UP, is it UP or BNSF. I keep getting these yards messed up. Anyways, the railroad asked them to vacate because they needed room for more intermodal yard stuff. So that roundhouse was taken out, but they built this heritage center. It's a lovely heritage center, and it's actually right across from another fine institution in Portland called OMSI, Oregon Museum of Science and Industry. They always have great stuff. In fact, they have like this massive. Um, yeah, we still getting. We're not getting what? Are we not getting sound? Hello, are we getting sound? I want to make sure. Okay, Brooklyn Yard is UP. Thanks, Pete. 5x5. Okay. I use my phone as the remote mic, and sometimes it just misbehaves. Anyways, let's get back to stuff because we're in the infinite scroll land. Okay, that's a lot said about that. They also have, let's see. Uh, so there are three locomotives under steam, one of which is the Polson Logging Company number 2, which is the one that was pulling the train that I had in my short. Here's the 700s page. So there's also friends of spns700.org. That's the name of that. Also, friends of the SP 4449. And this was a photo right here of when it was crossing one of these magnificent trestles in Eastern Oregon. Um, and unfortunately, the two of them they no longer are able to use to pull the excursion trains leaving the Heritage Center and going down to a location called Oaks Park, which is a few miles away to the south. That rail is, and the infrastructure under it is not made for these large northerns to be pounding on. So they use uh, they have a loan from another railroad, the Polson Logging Company number 2, which is the one I rode behind. So another locomotive that they're restoring but not under steam right now is the Oregon and Navigation number 197. So that one's under active restoration. And another one that's being restored, at least one more, is the Mount Emily Shay number 1. So it's a Shay, and so yeah, it's offset. Um, why is the boiler offset? Well, all the mechanisms are on the right hand side here, and so to make sure that it's balanced, the boiler is off center. It's a little bit of an interesting thing. Lastly, the other thing that went on was the turntable. And here's a great picture of rendering of it with the 4449 on it and that Rail Heritage Center building where that's their shop where they work on all these engines, all the locomotives. So, yeah, lots of things to see there. If you're ever in Portland, do go check that out. So let me get over to my photos here. And I'm going to go and play this slideshow here. Let's go back to restart. Go back to the beginning here. If I can get that to go. And not getting it to go. Hold on here. There we go. I don't think you can hear the music, or maybe you can. So let me know if you can hear that music. It's a little dim here. Okay. So here's one of those passenger cars that's been painted up and tagged and repainted. And I think that I need to adjust something here. Hold on. Select all those. Hopefully that'll do it. Okay. And we're just going to go run through these really quickly so we get onto there. There's the 1616. That's the one that was under steam pulling the train. Organ and navigation, a 197. Here's a model of the 700. Back to the 1616. Mount Emily Shea. Lots of cool things on that. Look at all that. And she's open the boilers. There's no pipes in there right now. Outside the 700. 4x449. Emily Shea. Me and my grizzled look. And a cool call out. Benson Polytechnic High School has this old Model T. Well, it's an old car and restored, and that's all I know about it. I didn't read about the details about it, but I can tell you one thing. Back when that was around, our friend Pete was riding in that car. No, I'm joking. I'm pulling his leg. Pete did not ride in that car that I know of, but he did graduate from that high school, or so he told me. So let's get back over to see the comments. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to someday when that Shay will actually be pulling cars again. That would be really cool. Because I hear they make some interesting sounds and they're different than the Heislers. Okay. So, well, it looks like I did another thing today, which I actually figured out how to have sound when I'm running things. Maybe. Okay. So let's go from there. So we already showed some things about last weekend. And what would the show be without showing Rocky? So Rocky is making his appearance. Hey, Raymond Anthony 127. Easiest and most efficient way to get to the museum. Well, it is right downtown on the east side of the river. It's not too far from the railroad. Oh, wait. You're talking about a different museum. Okay, I missed that. I thought we were talking about a different museum. Okay. Never mind. What are we looking at right now? Well, you don't see me, but we've got Rocky and a couple of things that I got picked up from one of our fine hobby stores, and that's the Hobby Smith. And you'll see I've got a Striker class military vehicle and a B2 Bradley, M2 Bradley. military. It's not a tank, but um, yeah, it's on the flat car here. These are in theory N scale. I don't like the. Let's see if we can show these closer. It's got these stars. I don't really like them. Maybe I will take those off and use some of my N scale decals to put on real stars. The other thing you'll see next to us, I have a crane. I picked this crane up. It's a Concore. Um, it's fairly nice. Actually, I was kind of lucky. Some other gentleman passed it by saying it wasn't detailed enough for him, but hey, works for me. So I am the fine owner of that now. Um, yeah, so exactly. If anybody's in town, um, I'll have to put my Great Northern JJ email address sometime back in the show notes so people know. But what else do we got here? Let me switch back over to the big camera view. And here's another thing that I picked up. It cost a bunch of money, but it's this medallion or coin. And it celebrates or commemorates that UP 1616. A nice little thing to hang on to. They also insisted on giving me this huge poster, which I only have one place to put it. Maybe I'll show later where I actually put that. Don't forget Rocky After Hours. Yes, of course, we've got this calendar, which why do I have a third 2025 calendar of trains? Because you could never have enough pictures of trains. Yeah, I picked this up. One, to hopefully the purchasing of these things actually goes to help keep the STEAM program and the commemorative program going and alive and well. I believe that after 1616, which is a repaint of the 4015. 4015 was a one of the locomotives they used behind the 4014 when it was on its tour. So, anyways, that one I hear rumor is that that will go into the Abraham Lincoln Library, just like the 4141, I believe. Yeah, the for the 41st president of the United States, the George Bush Senior, 41. Okay, so let's get back to the mail call. What else did we get? Well, we got more Freightliner from Trainworks. I've now got a yellow cab. I have two different um, pup trailers with the rig to allow you to put more than one behind it. So that's kind of nifty. And of note, let's switch back to the big camera here. Look at what we got here. A little Rocky pin that I can put on my cap. And an Empire Builder car pin. And a nice Empire Builder F unit in that Empire Builder. So these are all pins. Why did I get these? Oh, they were $6. And I forgot to get the book. I bought this expensive book about the Southern Pacific. I'll have to show that some other time. It's really interesting. So let's get some of these cars out of the way. So I picked up all these from Midwest Hobbies down in the center of the country. I forget exactly where they are. And let's go and transition back to this camera, and I will show that. That is a yard tractor trailer, 40 foot and containery chassis. Figure you need a chassis at some point. Um, so let's go back. Yep. Okay. What else is here, Anthony? I was hoping you can get up here via Amtrak. So the Amtrak station is on the other side of the river, but a simple Uber ride will do to get you over to the museum. If you wanted a long walk, you could do that. I think it's a couple miles, but there's lots of hotels downtown that you could stay at. Um, and of course, the coastliner, or if that's a coastlight, starlight, which one is it? It does actually ride straight past the museum. So in fact, while I was there, one of the trains went through. So great call, Anthony. You can get there. You can come to Portland via Amtrak. So let's switch to camera view again. Say bye, Rocky, for the moment. Give a Rocky overhead moment. And we're going to do something that I haven't done, which is we're going to open something that I got from Microtrains. And tell you the truth, I've forgotten exactly what this is. Here we go. Ah, a Lehigh Valley boxcar. I don't even recall ordering a Lehigh Valley boxcar. Aha! Well, this is why. For those of you who just enjoyed Enthusiast, welcome aboard. It's from my friends. I joined the N Scale Enthusiast. So this is, I do have an order for Microtrains, but this is from my membership for that. And Mama like this, a nice green Lehigh Valley boxcar. That's really sharp. So that's cool. That is the first unexpected. So is my membership card for the N Scale Enthusiasts. In fact, if you're not a member of that and you do N Scale, you probably should. Oh, we forgot one little bit. Look at these farm animals. We got horses. We got what do we got there? A cow or two, a donkey, and some small. What is that? A lamb? A dog? I don't know. Okay. I picked this. That also was picked up from Hobby Smith here in Portland, which is not too far. It is not too far from the Heritage Center. Yeah, I think it's about 3 miles. Anywho, and while I was there, I had to wait for a train that was blocking my path. So that was interesting. So what else do we got here? Let's see, 9:30. So we went through Rail Heritage Center last week. We talked about Andy's 100th episode. We did a short little mail call here. So I can talk about the layout update. I don't have B-roll ready for that. Work has been just too busy lately. So I'm going to make a surprise announcement here then. So for those of you who are watching, you should know that I am going to have a giveaway again. Is the audio out? Sounds like it's on. Looks like it's on. Audio check. Audio check. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. Dan says it's on. Okay. It was JP. Okay. I've got a surprise announcement. We're almost to 400. Let me go over here to my channel. 389 subscribers right now. So we're really close. There it is, right in here. 389 subscribers. Right there. So we're very close to getting to that magical 400 and crossing another boundary in the history of this channel. So not without all of you fine people that are watching the show right now, 16 of you that, or 14, goes up and down. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. And we're going to have a giveaway, and I don't know yet what the prizes are going to be. So I'm not going to announce the official giveaway and what you have to do. I'm not a fan of the ones that make you actually do work. I'm not at that level where I have to be so choosy. We had about I think 32 entries last time. We had HO and N scale. I'll again run HO and N scale. If you're neither of those scales, don't feel excluded. If you win, we'll get you something like a gift certificate to your favorite hobby store or something else. This time, though, I am going to do something else. I'm going to extend the prizes. So if you want to be wearing a fine shirt like this one with your favorite logos on it, these are mine, and Great Northern JJ stitch in here, I'm going to give away custom shirts from Gelsma Graphics out of Florida. I'm going to give away shirts. I will get the details if you're a winner, and I'll collect your size, color. In fact, I'll point you at the shirt place and you can select out and say whatever one you want, and I will get you a shirt. In fact, it doesn't even have to have Great Northern JJ on there. You can if you want. Anyways, I will fund those purchases for a few individuals, just in case you want to have a shirt. Or I may even do something where if you don't want the shirt in your winter, I'll give you a gift certificate to your favorite train place. I'm thinking about, I have to find out if I can find a few locomotives or cars or something. I need something for HO and N scale. Yeah, in fact, you can. This is one of the great things about that place. If you send Denny Gelsma, his company, if you send them your logo, they will embroider it onto whatever you want. The only thing I have is that I ordered a hat from them, and it got lost. I don't know what happened to it. They said it was coming soon, and it never showed up. But I have a lot of hats. So, anyhow, uh, I need to win a UP loco. Being an SP guy, I cannot be seen by the UP loco. Well, you can join Steve, who was so one of the winners was on the show, right? Was he not? Dats won the locomotive. Um, Dats won the locomotive in N scale. And in fact, Dats, we need to see pictures of it on your layout. But it's a DCC ready. I believe I sent that to you. And then Steve, getting back on track with Steve and Roxy, um, he's got the UP 1515 HO locomotive that I got purchased as a prize from our lovely Tammy's Hobbies. So I will see what I can find to give away that's in the same price range. But there will be hundreds of dollars of prizes. And it won't be just two winners. I'm thinking runners up will get the one of these polo shirts, and we'll see what else. Um, Maybe I'll go buy one of those tape measures, a couple of those. So I don't know. I'll probably go over to Tammy's today. And then next week, I will formally announce the start of the contest, give you details about how to enter, and we'll go from there. So wow, so just burned up another 10 minutes of the show just yakking about that. But that's what we're gonna do for 400. If I put another, it looks like the things that got the most action for me in the last month are the short videos that I did, of course, for the train day. I'm not going to put together a big one. Anybody can go and find the train day stuff at the Oregon Rail Heritage Center. You can search on YouTube. There's a lot of great stuff up there for people that have showed more footage than I took. So I'm not gonna I'm probably not gonna put a montage of that stuff together, but you can go and find that, search that out yourself. Lots of footage. There was a lot of people there. There was over 2,000 people that visited, I think, on Saturday. Um, so those two shorts got a lot of footage. Thanks to Gabe. I think he was the one that got us the free train ride for Pete and Pete's friend Jerome and myself, as well as the other guy. Gabe. Let's see. Scrolling back through the comments. Where was it? Emerson. Okay, Gabe and Emerson. All four of us got to ride in the Southern Pacific observation car at the end of not quite the end of the train. When they run the passenger train, they actually have a diesel switcher that you saw in the slides that's running at the tail end because they need to watch to go through the traffic, the gates across the road when they're coming back. So there's a few crossings that they need to go through, at least one, maybe two, before that they need to cross. So going down, the steamer is pulling forward. Going back, the diesel is pulling from the rear, and there's two people sitting in that cab with big windows. So it's one of those. I don't know, what is that? Is it is it? I forget what it was, but it's one of the several diesel locomotives that Oregon Rail Heritage Center has. One other thing I'll go into about Oregon Rail Heritage Center, um, they have acquired the trackage. Here we go to that press release right now. This was an interesting development in the last 6 months. Oregon Rail Heritage Center takes the next step to make historic rail excursions permanent part of Portland's future. So they have acquired part of the Oregon Pacific Railroad. So that's a local railroad that's been operated by a family for quite a while now. They're not getting all the trackage rights, if I understand it. They will still run freight to the places that need to run freight. Um, but yeah, uh, this is another. If you want to read about that, let me grab that. Switches back to the camera view. Post that up there. This is another great thing about um, about this heritage center. That not only that, but that means that the track rights that they are taking those excursion trains on right now will be owned by them starting in 2 years, 2027, I think. And that also means that they will be able to, through donations and just their foundation, they will be able to keep and maintain the track and improve it, which means someday we may even see those big two big beauties, 4449 and SPS 700, and any of the other steamers run excursion trains like they do every Saturday through all the summer, as well as what they do as a holiday express. So if you're at the museum, you can also buy tickets to ride, take a short little trip. I think it's about 45 minutes there and back, um, in one of those cars. Really cool. So I think that's just about wraps it up. I apologize, it's not a layout update. I am making progress on that. I've actually got all of the turnouts installed. I now have to do the wiring, redo the wiring, which I'm doing under that whole section. And of course, what is this? This is just a delay to not be working on the second level, as JP will remind me. And yes, the museum will have rights to the freight service. I don't think it's a huge moneymaker. In fact, from what I understand, the Heritage Center actually has more funds than the small railroad does to actually improve things. They the the Heritage Center gets more donations, has more things because of the train rides and visitors coming and the selling of things for their store. It probably is a minor thing, but they have access to more funds, and because they are a nonprofit, so they could actually use some of that revenue from the freight to go back into that. Yeah, and one of the guys, I believe, that is the CEO or president of the Oregon, uh, the what is it? The OPR, Oregon Portland Railroad. Is that right? Anyways, that railroad, that small little short line that is not part of the Genesee, Wyoming, um, that operates in downtown, and it operates out east of town. In fact, Unfortunately, in one of the fires that we had, one of their switchers was burned down. Um, anyways, they have freight that they run, and they do interchange with BNSF or UP, and do the interchange with them. And that's a frequent thing. That's not like infrequent. You could see if you followed them, that family was actively maintaining the track that they did have, with the exception of the trackage that goes from the Oregon Rail Heritage Center down to Oaks Park. I think it might run to Canby. I know it runs out to the Molalla area. In fact, out in Molalla, there's another thing. There's a live steamer. Uh, there's some small scale live steam that's out in Molalla, as well as there's another event that's going on this weekend. Um, there's another event south of here. There's a steam up for kids down south of here. And then that organization, Willow Creek Steam, I forget the exact name of it. If Scott Johnson was watching, he would tell us because I think he's involved with them. Um, they've got live steam, a huge steam thing. They've got all things steam down there, and steam tractors. They've got trolleys. They have a huge trolley collection. Um, and they have smaller, what is it, 1 foot scale steam and diesel. Lots of things to see around Portland. In fact, I think I can think of 3 other places where you can ride behind a steam train that are within easy driving distance from Portland. And there's another one east of here that's also Sumter Valley Railroad is also a great one that's in Eastern Oregon. There's the one down in Santiam, which has got the Santa Maria 20, I think it is, that was down in California for a long time. It was restored up in Astoria by some people, and then they sold it or loaned it to the Santiam people down south of here. That's another steamer. Where's another steamer? A place where a little bit of a tragedy happened in the last month. Them Mount Rainier Scenic Railway. You may have seen it in the news for 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 bad reasons. They had a trestle that they had just acquired rights to the track. This just completed the purchase, and it caught fire. They don't have the exact cause. It was probably arson because there shouldn't be a fire starting there, but they don't know yet. So we will not not go there yet. But they also have, um, in fact, on my channel, way back when, you can find a picture of that railroad running from way back from many years ago, over 10 years ago, probably over 15 years ago when I was up there. And then out on the coast of Oregon, that is where they also have this is where the McCloud River Railroad number 25 is homed. And it is out there still under steam. Looked like last time it could use a little bit of a wash, but it's out there near Garibaldi, Oregon. And there's a passenger thing out there. So there's a lot of opportunities to go and ride behind live steam, as well as what's available from the Heritage Center. Now, the Heritage Center, is it always steam every weekend? I don't know about that. I think sometimes the excursion trains are pulled behind the diesels, but you could still ride on an excursion train for a modest fee. To be honest, I would go out to the coast and ride the Garibaldi one, or go up to Mount Rainier Scenic Railroad and ride that one because those folks need the support and money from you riding. So somehow we've made it through almost to a whole hour of stuff when I was sure that I wasn't going to make it there. So 20 more minutes of yakking on about this and that. But what I have to say is thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being a subscriber. Please like and subscribe this video, even share it. Or even like my friend Andy, the other Andy, he says, oh yeah, I forgot. There's another train. It's out Mount Hood Railroad. It is not a steamer, but it is one that goes up Mount Hood Railroad. Several of those do have dinner trains. I don't know all the details. What I should do is collect all that information for everybody and get that on the details for another show about all of the different trains that you could ride around this area. That would probably be cool if you're ever in the area and visiting. Or if you're like Pete and myself, I've only ridden two of them. I've ridden the coast one twice. I've ridden the excursion train that leaves from the Oregon Rail Heritage Center twice. Once on a Holiday Express behind the 4449, I believe. So, yes, the answer is yes, JP. Some of these have dinner trains. Of course, if you're willing to go east, JP, another great place to go is to the Grand Canyon Railway. They do have some cool things there, including like acting, train robberies, and things like that. Yep, Pete, that is a cool little ride there. It's not really long, but it is. I mean, it's longer than the excursion train downtown as far as length. And thanks, Kevin, and everybody for watching the show. And let's see, we'll pop back over camera view. Rocky is reminding me that I need to do something. So, thanks everybody for watching. Great Northern JJ. I'm JJ. There's Rocky. He's off the rails. And what do we say? I'll be back. Okay. Have a great weekend. See you all next weekend where we'll be talking about something. We got 2 more shows. 2 weeks from now, we will do train running, which means that I have to get the electric back hooked up to my trains, my rails. So that will be the challenge. So next week, maybe we'll do a live layout update. Okay. Hasta la vista, baby. Okay, that's another Arnold one for you. Stick around. Okay. See you all later.